What is up, guys? Coach Cheryl here with Fit Body Secrets. This week's Fit Body Short is going to be talking to you guys a little bit about discipline. And I'm not going to talk about it the way that I think you guys are thinking I'm going to talk about it, because I think you guys are going to think that I'm going to start talking about how y'all need to be more disciplined and that you're not disciplined enough with your nutrition and you got to get disciplined with your training and all those things. But guess what? I know that a lot of people look at others that have that discipline, that grit, where they can show up at the gym every single week at the same time every single morning, despite having all these other things going on in their life, that somehow they make shit happen for themselves. And then there's this level of like, I don't know, this feeling of like, I wish I could be more like that. And why am I so different? Right. We all are trying to achieve things and we see other people like just crushing it. Like they're always so structured and routine. And we think, man, if I even just had a snapshot of the discipline, how much further I could be getting. Man, it's been a long day and I'm tilting my head the wrong way. And I wanted to talk to you guys about how that actually might not be what you guys should be focusing on. And I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about why that is and how those people develop that discipline. So there are things I think in everybody's life that they're very disciplined on. No matter what you are, no matter where you're at, there's things that you probably do routinely no matter what, right? There might be days where you're not motivated to brush your teeth, but you still get up and you pull the toothbrush out and you brush your teeth because you're disciplined, because you know that you don't want to go around town with stinky breath. Maybe you're not that person. Maybe you just put a breath mint in. I don't know. But most people do things because they're disciplined enough to know that there is a consequence if they don't do those things. And so when it comes to developing discipline in things like fitness and nutrition and habits to get to bed earlier and things like that, I think the biggest problem is that it's a change from our routine. And right now our routine is comfortable. We're actually very comfortable with how we are living. And even though there might be things that we want to change, there's not enough drive to change those things because we're comfortable, right? So for instance, if you want to develop a morning workout habit, but you wake up, you hear that alarm go off and you're like, oh, I just want to go back to bed for 30 minutes. Okay. That's what people are trying to develop the discipline for, to be able to just say, nope, I'm up, I'm going to the gym. So why is that difficult? Well, there's a missing piece to developing discipline that you guys all have to realize. And this is where I'm going to get real clear on what y'all need to be more disciplined. Okay. I already mentioned the reason why a lot of people are disciplined to do things has to do with consequences. And that you know that if you, for instance, with work, another one, not the toothbrush thing, if you don't show up to work, what's going to happen? You're going to get fired. You're not going to pay your bills. And so there's discipline related to going to work. When it comes to fitness, when it comes to nutritional changes, when it comes to being disciplined with those things, if you are trying to develop a skill, like a habit, I should say, to be more disciplined with working out regularly, with, doing the right thing for your nutrition, whatever that plan looks like to you, you've got to have one thing that you're missing. And it's why discipline isn't really what you're looking for. Okay. You need to be committed. All right. I'm going to go back to the story about the job. All right. The reason why you are disciplined to go to work is because you made a commitment to take a job on. And if you're not there, the other people are going to be counting on you. And if you don't show up, you're not going to get paid, right? You've got to have commitment. It's not discipline you need. You need commitment to a goal. And this is a two-part reason for why commitment is so important. Is number one, if you're committed, you are going to do the work. You won't need discipline because you're committed. And this is where motivation is not what people need to be looking for, because they're motivated for day one. They're like, I'm ready for the new shiny object. And then the shiny object is no longer new. And they're like, peace out. Where's the next shiny object? You've got to be committed to knowing where you want to get to. If you're committed to a goal, you're going to show up. You need some proof that your plan is going to take you there. You need to have some level of belief in yourself and trust that the program that you're following and what you're doing is going to be something that if you commit to it, you are going to be able to see those results happen for you. And that's why I don't think it's discipline that you guys need to be looking for. What you guys really need to realize is you have to learn how to be committed. And that means that the goal you have for yourself, whatever it is, whether it's fat loss, whether it's trying to, qualify for the CrossFit Games, whether it's just trying to get better at running, whatever it is you have a goal for, you have to have a clear goal with a why. Otherwise, it's just this thing, right? We can all say, yeah, I'd like to lose some weight, but I'm not so bad the way that I am. That kind of a person is less likely to be committed because they only kind of are thinking about it and they're dabbling with things. You have to be in a place where you're like, all right, you know what? Like, it's time for change. And I'll be honest, I was at that place at one point. I dabbled in a lot of things and didn't really commit because I wasn't really serious about it. But when I actually said, nope, now's the time, I'm putting my foot down, I'm going to make this happen, I committed. And that's when I got more disciplined because I was like, I'm tired of all the bullshit and not getting results. I'm tired of being the one that doesn't. It was no longer me having to look at others and wonder how they got so disciplined. It was me saying, you know what? I'm committed. I didn't have to think about discipline because I was so committed to achieving a goal that nothing else mattered. It was on my mind. Every time I made a food decision, I was thinking about how is this going to impact my goal. That became the first thing I thought about before I picked up my fork. And if you're committed to a goal, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to stay disciplined. If you're not committed, you're not going to see that through. The second piece of commitment and why this is so important and it actually overshadows discipline is this. If you're committed, you won't be in a rush. You're not going to be in a rush to the finish line because you understand that you're on a journey. And it makes you enjoy the journey so much more when you don't have to focus so much on getting to the end point. Because guess what? When you get to the end point, it's not so sweet. It's actually bittersweet because you get there and you want more. Because that's the beauty of becoming somebody who starts at point A and gets further than they thought that they could have been. You realize what you're capable of, and now you want more. You chase that feeling. The chase becomes exciting to you. And that is where motivation and discipline come from because you see what happens when you actually commit to something and you see it through. So if you struggle with looking at other people and asking yourself, and fuck the comparison game, but you're always like, how are they so disciplined? You don't need discipline. How are they so disciplined? Because they're committed. They have a goal, and the goal might not be with a deadline in mind. It might not be like losing 20 pounds by X date. They're committed to knowing that every single day when they show up at the gym, they are getting one day fitter. Every single meal that they prepare the way that they need to prepare it, they are one more day into changing their body. The body composition changes. The body evolution is an ongoing process. We never just stop changing. That's what aging is, right? We are always aging. We are always changing. Every single day, our body is changing. And it's the same thing with your weight loss journey. But if you focus so much on the discipline needed to lose fat and not realize that what you need is commitment to being a better person from a nutrition and a training perspective, you will be more committed. The last piece of commitment that you guys really need is enjoyment. And this is what I was going to start to talk about, but I kind of got a little bit passionate about that because I'm really passionate about talking about this is with being committed and talking about the journey, you no longer beat yourself up when you're having a day where you're like, you know what, I'd rather not go to the gym. I'd rather sleep in today because you are confident that 90% of the time you are doing all of those things. And think about the season we're in right now. The people that are committed to change and are committed to the lifestyle that they are now living, don't worry about a Thanksgiving dinner or a cocktail party to celebrate Christmas because they're committed to the process and they know that those little days aren't going to really matter that much. Those are just little days sprinkled in, part of your life. And they no longer feel restricted. They no longer have this feeling of like, oh, I'm just going to get started again in the new year. They are fully committed to the process, and the process includes living their life. So, fuck discipline. I'm going to be honest. We all do need discipline. We all need to have it, but stop focusing on it. Instead, ask yourself, what do you need to commit to? What promise do you keep breaking to yourself? What do you actually have to see through to get to where you want to be? And that comes down to learning that you're going to have to change who you are right now. The story that you're telling yourself about, I always do this, I always do that. You can change that right now. by just asking yourself, what is it that I really want? And getting after it. So, Fit Body Short today. Hope this motivated you guys to start looking to be committed to something, whatever it is. Commit to something, that thing that you keep telling yourself you're going to knock out when the perfect time comes in. Commit to it. And if you don't know the right plan to attack, ask me. That's what I'm here for. Coach Cheryl, always here to help you guys out. So, happy hump day, crew. Talk to y'all soon.